We still have Chris Kainde-Wandu very much with us in the studio right now. Good morning again.
Thank you very much.
And of course, joining us is the Executive Director, Citizens Liberation Advocacy Initiative, Adebola Adeniji-Adele. And of course, from our Abuja studio, the Deputy Director of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Aliyu Bello. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to have you.
Good morning.
Nice to have you
Good
all.
morning.
Okay, I think I have to start. Let me start from Abuja. Aliyu Bello, let me start with you from Abuja. Now, from the Ekiti election, it seemed that it brought to the fore the dangers, or how brazenly broad daylight buying of voters or the election, as the case may be, where people who were trooping. In fact, there were videos showing people trooping to collect monies to buy their vote. INEC is putting one or two things together. You might want to let us know basically how concerned the INEC is in that regard and what they're doing. Okay, you see we have connectivity issues there, but we have Bello Aliyu joining us. But let me come to you, CKN. The Nigerians have complained a lot. In fact, on social media, if social media were actually outside media, it would have been a little more buzzy than it was. Yeah. What are people saying, really? How concerned are people? What are the fears?
People are really concerned. The fear has gotten to a feverish height. When it puts into context vis-a-vis what happened in Ekiti, it was an open thing. You know, in those days, we used to hear people buying vote, but they will give you in the secretly and this thing. Now people line up to collect money to vote, and it became so difficult that even the security agencies couldn't do anything about it. Okay, they couldn't do anything about it. INEC couldn't, because most of the parties, especially the two principal parties, we are trying to outdo each other in terms of cash and the rest of them, and it becomes so worrisome. And apart from that, from what those of us that were on ground to monitor what was going on, what happens that after giving you the money, there are some people also monitoring you, standing within the vicinity of the polling unit and see how you vote. Okay. So they will see you go in, you code, but when you come out, they must make sure that you actually voted for the candidate that you were paid to do, and that is going to be a big problem going into 2019. It's a big problem. But what do we allude to some of those things? It's poverty. That is what I just look at it. One is poverty, then also failure of leadership, because most often than not, what is happening is that people no longer believe in those they are voting for, because they believe that this is just the time for them to collect as much as they will, their own benefit. Once they get there, well, they do whatever, but that shouldn't be.
All right, let's take it back to Deputy Director INEC, Aliyu Bello. He should be able to tell us exactly. Good morning again. Of course, my colleague Mike tried to throw a question to you. Unfortunately, you were not able to respond. We lost audio there. What exactly, how does this come to INEC? How bad is the situation, this vote buying phenomenon? Aliyu Bello?
Let me say
Okay.
Let me say thank you for having me. And let me begin by saying, vote buying issue, it should be a collective issue to have all stakeholders on board to fight it. And I obviously feel that on the part of INEC, enough efforts is being made, and will continue to sustain efforts to ensure that the menace is reversed. Let me say, talking about the contribution by the last speaker, I think INEC is also aware that INEC has come to realize that people are taking advantage of the polling station layout, and on account of that, for the upcoming Ekiti governorship election, the commission has to strategize to reposition the way the polling unit is laid out in such a way that no voter can have the opportunity to display his ballot to any bidder or to any person that, that has intention to pay or collect money after voting.
Okay. I'll still come to you on this issue of redesigning your polling units that INEC has told us. But let me bring in Adebola in here. A lot of Nigerians have said that, or a lot of politicians and experts have said that the concept of vote buying is a manifestation of the fact that the electorate are still not as enlightened to know the dangers of what they do for those who are involved in vote buying.
Let me first and foremost to say thank you for the good job you are doing to us in Nigeria.
Thank you.
By disseminating the information to us as at when due. What means in the morning, in the afternoon, in the midnight. So thank you very much. God bless you.
It's our duty.
Now let me lay the foundation, because I love what my colleagues just said and the question you asked simply says that if we are going to punish now, if it is real we are going to punish now, we are going to begin to punish the party leaders. The vote buying started from the primary of the election, where you see someone collecting 750,000 because he's a delegate. Okay? That one is not opened. That one is secret. Means that whosoever that wanted me to be the governor so desperately, I have to pay 750,000. That person needs to be arrested and prosecuted. Because when he's going there, what he's going to do there again? Than to serve those who gave the money and himself. That is number one.
Yeah.
Number two, they now generated it down that, okay, vote buying. Likely, in the nearest before, when you line up, you know what they call loaf of bread. It's always cut and put money inside. Means that it's like the candidate wanted to be a very joyful to us. That I'm good, I'm kind, have this as your meal because you have been lined up since morning. But when you open it, you will see money there. Wow. Then, that is the way it was behaved before. Where is NEC? Where is INEC? Then, we are using INEC. Even FEDECO. We are using FEDECO before, after FEDECO, INEC, NEC, from NEC.
Neck to neck on, and then, then we have what we have.
As you said now, it is the community or state or nation where they are swimming in abject poverty. Okay? There's a poverty. There's abject poverty. Yeah. Where you see almost 85% of the citizens of that country in abject poverty. Recently, federal government do something that in all states, I think they are in 14 states now, giving 10,000 as borrow for 6 months. See how cheerful they are. Those who are doing petty cash things are collecting 10,000 for 6 months to pay back. Okay? And you see how joyful they are in their faces. And somebody now give you 5,000 without collateral, without returning, and you say you are not going to take it. So it is collective, as the INEC man said. There should be a collective exercise, and that is our job. That we are representing the electorate all over Nigeria. It is the politician we are going to hold responsible first before electorate. They are lying to against us. We are not collecting money from anybody. You can't serve us. Because where is the money? Where do you have the money? They are giving the money to themselves. They are collecting money by themselves. They are using the money by themselves. Let them challenge me. I know what I'm talking about.
Yes, the weaponization of poverty, like you know,
yeah, like someone will put it.
Yes, a few people have put it. Let's take it back to INEC. In terms of specifics of what you're doing, really, to stop this vote buying, if not stop it outrightly, to reduce it to the barest minimum. What exactly are you doing? You've talked about the need for collaboration. Of course, we hear that ICPC, EFCC are coming on board. IPAC, you know, to help INEC. In what areas, really? How exactly will their support come in?
I think also another strategy to be that is adopted by Commission and which can be very helpful and useful is the use of dedicated phone lines to contact INEC and report incidences of vote buying whenever it happens, or wherever it is happening. Because the Commission is in particular, in respect of the upcoming Ocean governorship election, has dedicated a special line. Can I call the line?
Yes,
Yeah,
please,
why
go
not?
ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. We have a line 0908
Yes.
4 I mean 4 into 4 places.
Yes.
Then 3 3 3 3 into 3 places.
3 places.
0908 0908 4 again, then 333. Well,
Is that the only number you're providing for members of the public to actually call?
This is specially dedicated for vote buying issues.
Okay.
We have another hotlines for Ocean, about 3 of them. We have 0816 896 3080. Then we do have 0705
Yeah.
778 9656.
Okay.
Then another number is 0708 657 5910. These last 3 numbers, these last 3 lines I called are the hotlines in respect of Ocean governorship election. However, the initial one that I called is dedicated specifically for vote buying issues. So whenever any of the numbers is called, the caller knows that he's calling INEC directly to report happenings that ought to have been checked, and actions will be taken immediately.
All right, now let me stay with you before I come back because the question Ngozi asked earlier is that in the area of partnership, INEC has announced a partnership with ICPC and IPAC and all of that. In what way? Because that was the question. In what way are they coming in to partner with INEC to curb the issue of vote buying?
Yeah, already discussion is going on with the agencies concerned, and templates are being worked out to ensure that all agencies involved play the critical role expected of them to ensure that this menace is checked.
All right.
Okay. Well, I guess that's it. But we'll still raise these issues of this, long numbers, really. I'm just wondering how the average Nigerian
can cope with this.
Can cope with all these numbers.
What would they expect? Short codes?
Maybe 3-digit numbers would have
or 4 or 5
actually,
codes.
like the 911 kind of numbers and all of that. But let's talk about the criminalization of vote buying, which we have, gotten some kind of whiff that may just, help in checking this.
Yes, I think first and foremost, just as rightly said, I think INEC should liaise with the various GSM companies and also NCC to get short codes. That would make it much easier for Nigerians to be able to reach, and multiple lines, because if we are looking at, as of last time, we are looking at about 84 million Nigerians that have been registered to vote in 2019. By the time, let's say, half of them start calling that single line, then definitely
they will never get through.
Calling, we have been programs on this channel, and where people want to reach us from across the globe, even with the multiple number of lines we have here, that kind of, so I think then also they should also have one for SMS purposes.
Yes.
SMS, this is strictly for SMS, so that people who are not able to make the calls can send SMS. Then to the issue of criminalization, I think the basic fact remains that the INEC should have to do a lot of work, especially liaising with our security agencies. And INEC official will find it difficult to arrest anybody on the voting day that is getting involved in this kind of crimes. It's very, very difficult. If the security agencies that are supposed to be there are not able to do their work, all well and good. That would be problem.
Especially with the massive deployment of
the
security
forces.
In the case of Ekiti, it was about 30,000.
Exactly.
You know my challenge. You know my challenge. We deployed about something close to about 70 or how many number of thousands of people to Ekiti alone. Now we're going to do same with Osun. But when we come to the general election that is coming up next year, how many of these people are going to do, you understand? So it's going to spread. Won't have that number of people policing all the
Just a concentration
so
of
the concentration.
place
So that
anymore.
is going to be the problem. So what I'm saying is that the security agencies should be able to do something. And then, thirdly, legislation. This is where our Senate and House of Reps comes to play. There should be a legislation we should be able to look at. I'm not conversant. Probably when I finish my law program, I'll be able to dissect the Constitution as it's supposed to be. I don't know what that says. I'm just a journalist. But I know that we should be able to have some legislation in place that criminalizes such acts. Okay? When we're able to pick some key elements and get them prosecuted and jailed, then that will serve as a deterrent to so many other.
Both the buyer and the seller?
The buyer, the seller, even the INEC official that is there watching and seeing what is happening and not reporting. Even the security agencies that are there and they are not doing the right thing. You know, that kind of, by the time we'll be able to do that, then it becomes, and that is where the social media is playing a key role in this process. The social media is going to drive the 2019 election. The social media were part of the medium through which the 2015 election was won and lost. We should be able also do a lot of enlightenment campaign, especially INEC, in tandem with all media houses and the rest of them. It should be taken as part of social responsibility of media houses this time around, not as commercial. Because voters' education is very, very key. If we continue examining and telling people that if you are caught doing this, you will be prosecuted, there will be a tendency for some of our people to be able to back off.
Okay, let me go back to Abuja before we come to Adebola now. Aliu, there was something Adebola said in the studio that vote buying doesn't even start at the time of voting. It starts way back before, during the primary election. And we know that INEC also monitors primary election of political parties. I'd like you to talk to us from there, how concerned INEC is from that regard. And the number two is that we hear now that INEC is trying to ensure the curb vote buying. From a few days ago, we started hearing that people have started collecting account numbers of people who are going to vote ahead of time. So how will INEC handle all of those?
I think that is where the citizen's right of arrest comes in. When you see something wrong happening, it's not for you to just keep quiet or delay the reporting of such incident until lately. INEC at all levels is concerned about vote buying issues, whether during primary elections or during main elections. But essentially for the elections conducted by INEC, the menace that happens or is about happening should have been checked by collective responsibility of all stakeholders. I think talking about the legislative provisions in that respect, a particular section in the Electoral Act, precisely section 124, subsections 1 to 6, provided enough legislative powers for citizens to take actions and to do the needful to ensure that this menace is reversed.
Yeah, but how effective has that part of legislation really been? I mean, can you tell us really that any persons have been arrested for vote buying or vote selling?
Of course, for vote buying and vote selling, both ways is an offense. It's an offense to sell or to buy or to influence selling or buying. The provision is clear. The Electoral Act is there. So once you get to that section, 1 to 4, subsections 1 to 6, everything is laid out there. So the most important thing is now for citizens to take action to assist the Commission and the enforcement agencies to ensure that the menace is reported and should be checked.
Yeah, but my question really was, if there's been any instances where people involved in this have been arrested. Since, this is out there in the open.
Well, if it happens and is not reported, we don't expect arrest. But if it is reported and arrest is made, then prosecution will definitely come in.
All right, that's understandable.
All right, Adebola, the worrying dimension from a few days ago we're hearing is that they started compiling account numbers of who would be voters one way or the other. Just how dangerous would this trend be? Because it seemed like as INEC is handling one, politicians or those who are involved are devising new ways of...
They just wanted to build on it. That is what is happening in Ekiti State. Do you remember that in Ekiti State, one of the candidates of another political party was sent money to his account? Probably maybe you would not caption that. They went ahead to a pension place to collect the account number of them and sending money to them directly. Now, what does that money mean? So that we are not confident in ourselves. We want using this money for you, send this money to you to vote for us. It means what that money is meant for is to publish us, to mortgage us, and to seal our future. That is what the money, because at the end of the day you have collected money. You don't have right, power, anywhere to talk about that government because you have collected your...
You've already been compromised.
So that's what we are saying. You see, they might see me as enemy to myself today, but I am one of the patriotic Nigerians, which I've never, since I started the NGO, I've never collected 1 naira from anybody. Means that I can talk to anybody when I see that you are doing something wrong. That is what we are doing here. And I thank you that you called me here today to talk about it. What we are going to do, we have sent a letter to INEC. INEC are doing partial. They are not ready to carry people along. What are they doing? Open secret ballot. We told them that when you go to that place and you are showing your card like this to someone who is watching, it's no more secret again. It's open.
But they say they are going to redesign the polling
unit.
So.
Let me tell you, we are using what are they calling it? The reader card.
Card reader.
Card reader.
Yes.
Okay? We are the one that firstly told them that we in the elite nation, why you accredited me and come back around 1 o'clock to come and vote again? It's abnormal. We are the one that changed to simultaneous voting. It is our NGO that wrote them and they tested it and said, okay, before 12 o'clock, election is over. Okay? And okay, we'll press forward. Look, I want INEC to do something for us. That all the polling units has been mentioned with names. There's no polling unit in Nigeria that did not have names. Go and check out. Now, if you are posting a police to a polling unit, let it tag with that number of that polling unit.
That polling unit, okay.
If you are bringing the INEC person there, let tag with that polling unit. He has name. There's no 120,000.
Don't they have that already?
Huh?
Don't they have the names, allocation of or allotment?
In their police tag, let them have, okay, you are an 0456. Let it be there.
Okay.
If somebody wanted to report directly, as they said now, they will know where the problem comes from directly.
Okay.
Okay? So if it is Lagos has code, I think 111 or something, that immediately you have sent that, if 057 polling unit, the policemen are there, this is what they are doing here. Directly, they're not going to miss word. They will just come there directly. So we are just telling Nigerians, this is time for us, because the politicians are looking at their age. That's why they wanted to die for position. No, to be candid with you, they know that this is my last lap. If I cannot get it now, it's never.
Over.
If I cannot receive it now, it's never. So we who young people who are still remaining in the world, we still have time.
Unfortunately, people are dying and not dying by age.
They're not, unfortunately. As a matter of fact, the life expectancy is quite
has reduced.
Deputy Director INEC, Aliu Bello, I'm sure you have a response to Adebola here, who has, come up with some solution, to help INEC. In addition to what INEC has said, that you actually plan to adopt a more secret voting process. Speak to what the issues he has raised now, if you can.
Well, I think there is need also to say a little about the polling, the way the polling station is laid out, and also to sensitize Nigerians on the fact that on election day, INEC officials are busy conducting or doing the electoral duties. However, the security officials that are there to take actions, and please should anything that is found to be violating the laid down procedures should be reported at least to the police officers and the security agents that are there. Apart from that, I want to say that about the voting procedure, already enough discussion is being made, is going on, that the commission has already laid out the procedure, and it is well articulated that these are the principles and procedure the way the election will be is being conducted. Please.
All right, Chris, let me come to you on this. You talked about social media earlier being a tool that INEC can use, but so far, are you seeing strategies of connection and strategies for enlightenment and voter education, either by INEC or even by the political parties using social media? Because when it comes to the eyeballs and presence, social media is still number one right now.
Yes, there will be some level of engagement by both politicians, INEC, and security agencies, and the likes, and civil societies, and even our own, in our own profession, journalists and the rest of them, in doing some level of enlightenment programs. Nigerians are more enlightened now, you can rest assured. Even the so-called person in the village that you think doesn't know engages in WhatsApp messages and the rest of them. Okay.
Yeah, but that seems to be where it ends,
That's
really, as far as the enlightenment issue is concerned.
But
actually going out to vote, for example, the people who are susceptible to vote selling, who are selling their votes, are the poor people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Are the ones
they target.
Who go out to vote?
Those are the ones that they are the soft. We say in attacks and the rest of them.
Yes.
Boko Haram attacks soft spots. It's just now that they're making it. Now, who do they target? Who do the politicians target? The poor, very much, because the so-called elites don't hardly vote. On the election day, you see them sit down in their sitting rooms and watching TV and reading newspapers and the rest of them. It's only some relative, the young, and also those elites that
youth,
normally go.
women.
So women and youth. So what we should be trying to do, we should increase our enlightenment campaigns now. Now, starting from now. Immediately, I know they are getting themselves worried with the primaries, but by October we should be done with that. Then the serious enlightenment program should be, especially to be led by INEC and the NGOs like his, and they should be supported.
Have already been going on. Now, very quickly, Adebola, Mr. Liu talked about citizens' arrest. Do you see any challenges with that? How easy is that?
I would define little. I would define little because
very briefly, please.
I would define little. When you look at Rivers State, you see people carrying ballot physically. Physically. Not that somebody told me. We were there live. Okay? I'd come and see how rough it is. But at the end of the day, I've not seen one being arrested or being prosecuted.
By citizens?
Or by INEC.
Even INEC was there. Even the police was there.
All right, we have to leave you here now. Adebola Adeniji Dele, National President, Executive Director, Citizens Liberation Advocacy Initiative. Thanks for coming on the program. As well, we thank you, Chris Kende-Nwandu, for coming on the program.
Thank you very
CEO CKN News. And Aliu Bello, Deputy Director, INEC. Thank you for talking to us from our Abuja studio. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.